All right, guys, welcome back to another video. It's your man Jay. So we are going on 72 hours with this device. Now, Google sent these out to Team Pixel a little early, and we appreciate it. They are up for pre-order right now, so you can pre-order yours. I think you'll be pretty happy with what you get overall, especially if you like stock Android or you just like the cameras on Pixel devices. You're going to be pleased at what you get here in this new package that they're offering. So this is a replacement for the 4A lineup. And the 3A lineup, the A series period. This is what they're replacing with this device, and you will appreciate this. So today we're going to have a more relaxed overview of this device and take a deeper dive at the hardware and things like that. So the color is called Almost Black, and I'm starting here because this has kind of been the focal point of this device for a lot of people, because people are going to say this is green. Well, if you think about what you're saying, it's not black, it's almost black. And in certain lighting situations, this phone does look black. It's really strange, but when you're shooting a YouTube video and you have all these lights on it, the predominant color is going to show as green for a lot of people, and I think it's absolutely beautiful. So here's a black Pixel. This is clearly black, it says, and you can now see the difference in these colors because this says this is clearly black and this is almost black. So I don't know why this is such a thing online. People, it's like they want this to be black. I see a lot of people saying, oh, I'm tired of black phones. Then when you get something that's different, which is sometimes black or almost black, you feel indifferent about it. So we'll figure that one out later. But here is a black, clearly black Pixel next to an almost black Pixel. And I think the almost black Pixel looks great. Even on the box, it's a deep green, but in certain situations, it turns gray for me. It turns black for me, and then it turns back to green. I think it's absolutely beautiful the way they set this up. Now, on the hardware, you do have the same camera system, sensors and things on the Pixel 5 and Pixel 4a 5G. These are identical as far as what they're going to produce for footage. And then you have the fingerprint reader on the back, and you still have your headphone jack on the top there with a microphone up there. And the other microphone is down in one of these slots here, and one is a speaker, and there's your Type-C. And then the other speaker is actually up here in the grill on the top, because they did not do, they didn't do the under display speaker. It was cool, but it's good to have a nice loud speaker on the top, so that's good. And on this side here, you'll have the SIM tray, and on this side you'll have, again, the textured power button, and you'll have your volume rocker there. Really, really nice. On the front here, you have this beautiful 6.43 inch display, basically almost a 6.5 inch display. And it is 20 by 9, 1080p at 60 hertz. I know I shouldn't have to stress that, but it's totally fine. This is a fast, fluid device. I'm in airplane mode because I kept getting a bunch of calls and texts because I'm using it. So this beautiful display here, I'll fire up Wi-Fi so I can play a video for you. But the display is beautiful, and right now I believe this is now a metal body with that coating over it, so you can get these different color shifts like this. And then you have a Gorilla Glass 6 on the front, I believe, now for this Pixel device. Now internally, there's a Snapdragon 765G, and then there's 6 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of storage. This is enough for everybody out there. This device costs $450. And out the gate, it is totally worth $450 because it has advantages over some of the devices that cost much higher in price, way higher in price. And I'll show some camera samples, and again, I'll show you the screen. And performance shouldn't ever be a question. I mean, there's just so much to love about this device when it comes to performance, because it has stock Android. I believe this is going to get, for those that want to know this, I don't care about this, but it's going to get a minimum 3 years software updates, from what I can tell, or what I've read in most places, minimum 3 years, while the Pixel 6 will more than likely get minimum 5 years. So that's not important to me, but it might be important to some people. Now, as far as the network goes, because a lot of people don't talk about the network, I've run a speed test, and I've posted a speed test on a previous video. Maybe I'll post it in this video too, because I've run that speed test over and over again, and the most I've gotten was about a little over 500, which is fantastic. So the 5G works great on the network for T-Mobile. And it's going to work for your AT&T. It's going to work for your carriers, whatever those carriers are, whatever your hits are on those networks. That's what it's going to be. For T-Mobile, this device is, for me, is peaking out, depending on where I'm at, peaking out at about no more than 550, I'll say. And the upload speeds are peaking out no more than 80. And that's fantastic. So I can confirm that I can get 5G on this device, which is great. Indoors, I regularly get between 50 and 100. So that's what you can look forward to, possibly, depending on where you are and what your network is looking like and where you live when it comes to T-Mobile. Again, I'd have AT&T, and I know it'll work. I have Verizon. I have these other carriers. I know they'll work, but I'm not going to keep switching out to test out the network just to see if I'm going to get high speeds. T-Mobile is by far one of the fastest across the board and the most stable when it comes to their 5G. They have more 5G spread out than any other carrier with fast speeds, from what I can tell. So network, don't worry about that. Now, I'm going to click on Wi-Fi, and I'm going to turn on a video, and it's going to show you the screen because it's beautiful. And then we'll switch over to the cameras, and then we'll go from there. Now, I chose that particular video because I know it has music in it. And the music, when I'm doing the audio recordings like this, I normally put the music to about 50% because it's really loud. And I don't want to blast out your eardrums if you have headphones in. So nonetheless, this video right here is a good example of how great the screen could possibly be for you. Now, when you're looking at videos, it also depends on what you're recording it with. So I have the LG Velvet, and I decided to record this particular video with the LG Velvet without telling people. And people love the quality, but it was actually the LG Velvet. It wasn't one of my cameras. Yeah, this is just a good representation of the screen. The screen is beautiful. And at peak brightness, folks, you get 800 nits. And the way this works is it'll push the brightness up and adjust on its own. Like other phones, it's going to adjust the brightness for you to get you the best possible situation. So outside, folks, you should be able to see this screen with no issues, period. You should be able to see it with no issues, and you should be able to at least experience that 800 nits at some point or another. So the screen, the speakers, all of that is absolutely great. I do not have a problem with it. As far as performance goes, and just kind of looking at everything that's going on with the display, Team Pixel, I see you, Grant. Look at these, and I haven't even shown you my photos yet, but look at this quality. Google Pixel devices are the king of these photos, folks. You can keep denying it all you want to, but the Pixel devices are untouched. They can't be matched. Yeah, look at this. Is incredible, man. This is great quality. I'll show you some of my footage as well for the photos and stuff like that. But this is great, Mike. You do not have a problem, sir. You're just in it, Team Pixel. Some of the new members of Team Pixel, you're not new. You just arrived. How about that? Shout out to the Tech King Mike. Yeah. So, I mean, this is great. The screen is beautiful, but when it comes to performance, some of you might shake a leg at the Snapdragon 765G, saying, "Oh, Google, you should have done this." Well, Google understands, like most OEMs understand, you don't have to push certain things too far because it's going to be enough. People cried and whined about the Pixel 5 having this processor. Some people are saying this is nothing but a Pixel 5 minus a few features. Okay, if you want to look at it like that, but it's a Pixel 4a with an upgrade of at least 3 to 5 features, and that's enough for most people. Just the hardware alone, again, is going to make people say, "Ooh, this feels great." So performance, screen, speakers, hardware, all fantastic, man. Just phenomenal. It's going to depend. Now, again, this is how I feel about it, but I think most people who have this device are not just saying, "Oh, it's great," just because they're a part of Team Pixel and they were able to get an exclusive first look at it. I don't think that's what it's about. I don't think just because you get something free or early advanced, that shouldn't sway your opinion about it. And I don't think that's what's happening either with Team Pixel. So that's a side note, but let's get back to the review. This device is tackling the things that consumers need. And I think when you see some people complaining about it having not having something, or Google doing something. Those people are not in touch with reality when it comes to what consumers actually need. Not every consumer is going to go out and buy a $2,000 folding device or a $1,500 folding device. They're not going to do it. Slab phones will always be here. This is what Google is doing. And when you think about it now, folding phones haven't taken off. Even though they are the future, this is where companies are going to stay for a long time to come, because more consumers are willing to pay $450 opposed to $2,000, opposed to $1,000. This device punches well above its limits when it comes to photography and videography. So let me show you what I mean. All right, guys, so here we are. Yeah, those cameras, in my humble opinion, are not matched. And that's just what it is. Yes, there are cameras out there that can take better photos. Let's be clear on that. But there are very few cameras out there that can actually produce at this price range. And price, this is where price really becomes important, because that is why I say this device is punching well above its limits of what a person might think is a budget mid-tier phone. These cameras on here are better than some of the higher quality devices out there that I guess consider higher quality, that cost 3, 4, 5 times the cost. It really is. Let's just go double the cost. 1.5 times the cost. The point is, these cameras are fantastic, and it's been proven time and time again that these cameras are great. So when you check these boxes here, you've got really solid hardware. You've got a fantastic screen. You've got great cameras, fantastic. Well above just amazing cameras. What else do you need? Well, one other thing you're going to need to power all of that is battery life. This is where this device really works hard, and it does well overall. Now, I'm not getting stellar battery life, but here's where I am right now. Let's see where it's at real time here. So I'm at 1 day, 5 hours of usage with 28% left, and 4 hours and 38 minutes of screen on time. Now, that is fantastic battery. And obviously, you know that when you get a new device, you work it hard. You beat it up the first time you get it. And that is when it's working the hardest. So this should give you some sense of what kind of battery life you could possibly get with this device, hands down. So with that being said, this overview on this device, I don't think a lot of people are going to be disappointed when they pick up this device. And, the Pixel 5a is where a lot of people should start. This is where you should be. You guys have always heard me say that, if you want stock Android, you need to go to a Pixel or some kind of Google device first. And right now, folks, the Pixel 4a line is gone. If you find those, you won't find them from Google more than likely, because they've moved on and replaced it with this device. So this is where you need to start if you were not able to get your hands on the previous generation devices. You can buy them third party if you want to. That's your choice. But if you want stock Android, if you want what's considered the best of the best, cream of the crop from Google, you need to start with a Google device. Now, before I get out of here, before I move on to what I'm going to say, there are rumors floating around. There are people saying, oh, my device can't record 4K 60 for longer than blah, 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 and it cuts off. Google should have told us that. Well, the fact of the matter is, there are DSLRs and mirrorless cameras that cannot record in 4K 60. So this isn't the first device to shut down the camera if the device gets too warm to protect itself from damage. We've seen this time and time again. Yes, there are devices out there that can record 4K 60 unlimited. I applaud it. I love it. I use them. You know what I'm saying? But now that I know about it, there are some people out there whose devices cut off like at 3 minutes, and some people's cut off at 5 minutes. When I say cut off, not the device, the camera itself will pop up a really fast warning saying, hey, limiting something. I couldn't read it because mine popped up at 7.5, almost 8 minutes. So I put my camera in 4K 60 and I just left it there and I hit record. And in about almost 8 minutes, it decided to turn off the camera and just restart the camera and say, now you have to start again. I don't see why this is such a big deal. If I'm being honest, I think that's just people throwing shade. This is my overview of the Pixel 5a 5G after about 3 days. The device is great. Everyone looking, remember, I named the 4a 5G my device of the year for 2020, even though I had the Pixel 5. That was their top tier device. Pixel 5a 5G so far after a few days, absolutely great. I'm out.